since I'm controlling this code. Got it. Okay. There you go.
I got it.
We're recording that? Okay, good.
Yes.
So that's the one thing that I wanted to point out about the team overall. The next thing is if you haven't had a chance, if you're working on a case and you haven't had a chance when it comes to advanced solutions and that case design and competition, Kyle Runyon, Jacob Messick, and Jeff Smalley, I would challenge anyone. I would challenge you to find three people better than those three at doing one specific thing, putting together presentations that help get the job done. And at the end of the day, like Charles talked about, like numbers, like they were, are looking for a production, and the work that Kyle, Jacob, and Jeff do creates presentations that helps you solve clients' problems and gives you the ability to present it in a favorable manner so that business actually closes. That's what they do. That's that's the design, and it's not just an order taker in terms of in terms of an illustration. It is an understanding of concepts, ideas, so that presentation hits just a little bit different, and is that cherry on top for all the work that you've done to build a relationship with the client and helps close that case and close that sale. That's what they do, and they do it as well as you may find people as good as them, but you're not going to find anyone better than them, in my opinion. So that's our team. It's wide and deep, and we take pride in it going in that direction as opposed to getting smaller. Like we've seen some places that when it comes to advanced solutions or advanced markets, they are getting smaller. They are cutting resources. We're not doing that. In fact, we're empowering advanced solutions and design to be sort of the tip of the spear when it comes to those higher end sales, and particularly working with business owners. So I'm gonna breeze over this part because this is the idea behind is we want to help position you with higher net worth clients. That's we want to be that resource. We want to help you be that resource with business owners. I mean, like at the end of the day, if I ask this group who wants to work with households between 1 million and 5 million of net worth, is that something you want to do? And I'll just so we can raise your hand if you want to work with households between 1 million and 5 million in net worth. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? Absolutely, you do. And what the numbers tell us is that if you want to work with those households, 74% of those households has a business somewhere involved. Now, it may be the owner, it may be the spouse, it may be the key employee, it may be the brother, the sister, the son or daughter. It may be a whole host of reasons, but a business is somewhere driving that net worth. And if that's the case, we should understand many of the problems and have concepts and ideas that support the problems that many business owners face for households with those types of net worths. That's why we have that business owner focus, and then ultimately we're moving towards that wealth management focus, so that business owners, when you move into that marketplace, business owners are looking for sort of a one-stop shop to be able to offload their problems. So it's not just business planning. It may be charitable planning. It may be trust planning. It may be some other things that drives that business owner. And what we believe is going to happen is the more advisors that can handle the more problems, that's where the business owners are going to end up. Right. So that's what this talks about. And this is this talks about some of the advanced planning services that people are coming to expect. And then what I wanted to do here really quick is just, as you think about advanced solutions, why should I invest time in advanced solutions and design, invest time in business owners, besides the obvious monetarily, is we can help save you time. We can help build build your knowledge. Of course, we're there for that consultative piece. That's our that's our differentiator. If you start to move into AUM and if that's the route you end up going, we're going to make that AUM stickier because you are able to solve that client's problem, not just get their money and grow it, and then and that's it. That's a big it. But if that's all you can do for a client, that client ultimately will move if all you can do is gather AUM and help it grow, right? If you can't protect it, if you can't be able to help them distribute it, if you can't help them with their legacy issues, their retirement issues, then that AUM is not very sticky. Advanced solutions and design helps with that AUM being sticky. And then ultimately wealth transfer. You want to pass it on, you want to pass the practice on, we can help you with that wealth transfer piece if that's what you desire. All right. Please, I'm going to say this. I can roll on. Trust me. I can go fast, and I can barely take a breath and go through this presentation. If you have specific questions, just interrupt me. Let's go ahead and have a dialogue. Yes.
So actually, a quick question, because I have a particular client right now that I'm working with, and we're trying to put in between 25 and 50,000 into the IUL. But right now I'm at a hiccup where I was speaking with his accountant. In a situation like this, would we be able to call you and kind of have you, after I explain what I'm doing, kind of have you present it to the accountant with us?
Yeah, we could. Yeah. I mean, what are you trying to do, if you don't mind me asking, Alonzo?
So he's an entertainer and he has an S corp. So he's putting, between 25 and 50,000 to protect himself from taxes. It's going to be basically, he's paying for it through the S corp, but it's on him. It's also going to be, it's about an 800,000 face amount. But he's using it also to protect his mortgage. His mortgage is about 1.8 million.
Okay. Yeah. So absolutely, Alonzo. And in fact, when I get to complete solutions, I'm going to use that as an example, because we have a concept series, if you will, and one of our newest concepts that will premiere at the end of the month is something called the S Corporation Security Plan. It's for those S Corporation owners using K1 distributions, because there's a little bit of a tax break if they use K1 distributions to fund the life insurance. So so when I get to those concepts, just kind of keep that in mind, and you and I should have a talk offline, because that's right in the wheelhouse of how we can put together a presentation to sort of help the accountant understand it, and we have a white paper for the accountant. So there's a lot of information that we have that can sort of help that along, and in that particular case. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Hey, Troy.
All right. So let's talk about some. Yes.
Maybe kind of like went over my head, but how do I go about attracting high net worth clients to begin with? Okay,
let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you something. You actually keyed this up. Okay, so let's talk about kind of where you can find our information. First and foremost, this has actually changed. We got to change these slides. This has actually changed, but to find the advanced solutions information, you actually go to selling business, and then it'll have advanced solutions there. But once you get to it, there's something that we call the source. So let me get here. We have something called the source, and we actually break that information down. What we did is when we talked to business owners, we found that business owner problems fall into one of six categories. And those are the ones before you: executive compensation, disability income planning, business continuation, wealth management, estate planning, charitable planning, right? And so our information and our concepts and ideas are built around solving those problems in those business owner areas. And we have something that we call, Thomas, if you're looking to like, how do I begin these conversations with business owners? Because at the end of the day, the way to get into the business owner marketplace is to have conversations with business owners. And that ultimately sort of freaks some people out. But what we did, and I'm not saying that's the case, Thomas. So what we did was we built something called the Source in Six. Remember those six problem areas? What if I had, what if I was able to master like six questions that allow me to move into conversations with the business owner? Because what you need to be able to do, Thomas, is to be able to have that conversation with the business owner, just like you have the conversation with mom and pop sitting around the table. Business owners are no different. They are very good at what they do in their business, but oftentimes there's reluctance, and they are not scared. They are less than confident when it comes to these problem areas. It's why when you can have a conversation with the business owner, when you can have a conversation with the business owner and get to the root cause of what keeps them up at night, oftentimes they will open up to you, because no one's ever asked them, asked the question either that way or with that intent. So this is something that I would recommend, that if you're looking to move into the business owner marketplace, I would definitely get these Source in Six questions. 6 questions that covers those 6 business owner problem areas that are designed to do a couple of things: allow you to be conversational with the business owner, to feel good, to not feel like I'm trying to set this business owner up for an interrogation with a fact finder. I want to have a conversation, and I want to let them know that these are areas that I routinely think about and work with other business owners with. For instance, right, you want to be able to talk about executive compensation, like, and how do you ask a business owner, do they have a key employee, right? And we ask, like we say, what would you do if one of your key employees didn't show up tomorrow, right? That's not, do you have a key employee? Because we want that business owner to think, what happens if the person that makes your business go and brings your business value tenfold in some cases, what happens if that person doesn't show up? That's a different question than asking about key person insurance. Business continuation. How do you want your business to continue when you're no longer a part of it? Right? That's a different question than going, do you have a buy-sell agreement? Right? Because you're asking them to consider what happens when you're no longer part of the business. And make no mistake, the underlying tone is at some point, one day, you are not going to be a part of this business. You may go out feet first, or it may be a party, but at some point, you're not going to be a part of this business. How do you want that business to look and function after you're gone? Right? That hits different than if I just go, do you have a buy-sell agreement? Right? And tell me about the terms. And do you like that? Now you may get to that level of detail at some point, but in my opinion, the key to entering the marketplace is making sure you can ask questions that gets the business owner to talk about their favorite subject then, right? And they talk about it, and then we actually have some steps to be able to move into that marketplace. That's one way. We're going to talk about something called Boom here, towards the end of the presentation. Boom, and we have this thing called Boom School. If this is something you want to do, Thomas, I would say, hey, Charles, get my name on that Boom School list. It's a class that Advanced Solutions puts on, that we sort of walk through the entire business owner process, if you will, from how do I approach to what's my elevator pitch to how do I use the source and six questions to business owner concepts and ideas that I sort of have in my back pocket that I can that I'm able to describe and discuss. Like we kind of take you through it step by step. If that's what you're interested in, like I would also say ask about and be a part of Boom School the next time it's held. And the way you do that is, hey Charles, would you make sure that my name gets to my RVP about Boom School? And that's how we build that list. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Some other stuff, just so you know what we do. Client consultation, COI consultation. That's what we talked about, Alonzo. Being available to sort of go to figure out what makes sense with the other COIs. Usually that's accountants and attorneys if we need point of sale assistance. And then like if you find yourself, hey, I got a company and I got to get in the boardroom presentation kind of deal. We have some expertise. Our very own team is excellent in those situations. So those are. And those are some things that are available to you. All right. Our case design and competition team, they do all sorts of things in terms of case design and competition. And again, what they are excellent at is putting together presentations that sell. Okay. All right. Here's Boom School that I was talking about. 15 hours of content. We're going to help you develop your approach. We're going to allow you to work with a live business owner and ask questions. If you bring a case, we'll work on that with you during Boom School. Boom School is an excellent opportunity if this is where you want to go with your practice. Okay. I'm going to get to some concepts since we got like 10 minutes. So I want you to know some of the concepts. I guess I'll talk about Marshall & Stevens and then jump to the concepts. Understand that we have some third-party resources that are available to you as well. And with Marshall & Stevens, you may not, again, once you start working with business owners, with Marshall & Stevens, one of the things that they provide is that they help us get over that very first hurdle that oftentimes is in place when you're working with business owners, which is how much is my business worth? Marshall & Stevens they are an independent third-party valuation company, and it's all they do, and they do it with live people, right? So if you have a business and that they have $3 million of gross annual revenue, like they have $3 million of gross revenue. Then we can get something called a calculation of value done. If that business is willing to provide 3 years worth of balance sheets and income statements, Marshall & Stevens will give them a range of value on their business. In other words, it may look something like, hey, your business is worth $3.2 to $4.1 million, right? And if that's the case, so you'll get that in a nice, in a nice sort of presentation. But what Marshall & Stevens is the differentiator is if you find yourself in a situation and you need the value of a business, Marshall & Stevens will get on the phone with you, the advisor. It will get on the phone with you, the advisor, and the client, or the client's accountants and attorneys to determine the valuation. And the cost there, everyone likes the cost. When we're talking the calculation of value that I just described, it's no cost to you, no cost to the client. So that is a huge value add, and it does something that I like to harp on. It elevates you in the mind of the client, because now, if you remember, sort of that wealth manager that's solving problems for for the client, right? It elevates you in the mind of the client, and you become that first call to them when they have a problem. That's what a service like Marshall & Stevens does.
Troy, question.
So just shoot.
So let's say a company is newer and obviously isn't at a 3 million gross revenue, but we're looking to kind of get a valuation of the business to set up a buy-sell agreement. Is there like a resource for that?
Yeah. So what I would suggest to that, Alonzo, is either give myself a call, or if you look at this flyer really good, there's a gentleman by the name of Jeff Smalley. He actually runs point on our Marshall and Stevens program. Just because, Marshall, it's not 3 million. We don't want to exclude you. So I guess what I'm saying is yeah, we can. What in that situation, Marshall and Stevens would likely get on the phone with you, Alonzo. Hey, I got a small, fast growing business. This is what this is what the financials are. What should we be thinking about in terms of a buy-sell agreement? Marshall and Stevens will get on the phone with you and give you their expertise that you might not necessarily get the nice calculation of value presentation, but you will be able to get that input from valuation experts, because that's all they do, right? So you're not precluded from using the service. It's just your engagement with the service is a little bit different if you're below that $3 million gross revenue threshold. And just so you know, Alonzo, the reason why we have that is because when we've looked at it over from the time we instituted the Marshall Stevens program, like $3 million is a bright red line to the service making sense for everyone. For business was sold, for the advisor, for Emeritus and Marshall and Stevens, like it all made sense and worked when we had companies at that $3 million gross revenue threshold. Doesn't mean they still won't get on the phone with you and help you out to give you a number again, so you can help your clients arrive at a good, solid number when they're putting together a buy-sell agreement.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Marshall and Stevens, and this is just an example here. We've had tremendous success again with that $3 million number. Each one of these cases that you see before you is high 5-figure, 6-figure premiums. Chemical company, an aeronautics company, an almond farmer, and a drywall company. Right? It's business is business, and the understanding of the company's value is usually that first hurdle to solving some of the problems that we've identified in those 6 areas. Marshall and Stevens helps get you there and elevates you in the mind of the client. You're going to hear me say that a bunch of times. Speaking of buy-sell reviews, Alonzo, we have a buy-sell review program. It's almost a document review program because we oftentimes find ourselves reviewing trust. And just like Jeff Smalley is the point on the Jeff Smalley is point on the Marshall and Stevens program. If you have someone who needs a buy-sell reviewed, you can send it in to the team email address. And I usually run point on the buy-sell review program. We will review the buy-sell. You fill out a little questionnaire to help us so that we know what we're reviewing for, and it helps identify gaps, outlines options, and then positions you as the key resource to get those things done. So we're about solving problems, plugging gaps, filling holes, and making you the face of the sort of the quarterback of being able to fill those holes. I got like 3 minutes. I apologize. So I'm gonna buzz past this. I want to get to.
Well, we actually go to 12:15. We start at 11:15.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So let's go back. I don't have to go as fast. Okay. So let's go here. So some other things at your disposal is something we have access to. Actually, they are a national law firm, Baker and Hostetler, and what they provide for us is basically 3 things. So you see that, hopefully you can see that we do a lot of things, right? And we can fill a lot of gaps. But there's some things that we have, that we feel like we should farm out. And that's where this augmented back office that we talk about, Baker and Hostetler, is the thing that we do. Baker and Hostetler provides 3 different things for us. One is called the influencer exchange. So, Thomas, one of the things that you might want to think about is do you have any accountant friends? Do you have an accountant that you're looking to to approach and sort of go hand in hand in terms of moving into the business owner marketplace? One of the best ways one of the ways that you can do that is using COIs. Here is a way. We have something called the Influencer Exchange, and that is a national webinar put on by Baker Hostetler and Emeritus Advanced Solutions. So one of the things that you can do is you go to that accountant or attorney COI that you're trying to develop and say, hey, here's something that that's put on by one of our one of the companies that I work with. I thought it'd be a great opportunity to learn a little bit more, right? So offer that COI something. Too often we make the mistake of wanting to take from the COI, take, and it's my belief that you got to offer them, you've got to offer them something. Maybe it's a client, but certainly information and an opportunity for them to be better in a particular area. And the influencer exchange is something that we provide that you can take advantage of to help develop your COI relationship. We can also, Baker and Hostetler also provides the SAGE, which provides legislative updates, and there's going to be a bunch of that coming right now with the new with the new tax bill coming, potentially something happening with student loan debt. So there's a lot of stuff that comes out, and and Baker and Hostetler helps us stay on top of that sort of cutting edge legislative information. And then there's something called Prosperity Road. They provide a sales idea for us, and it's a higher, it's typically a higher end sales idea, but it's something that they're putting into place, like in their practice. So again, it's having access to the ideas and concepts, so that if the right business or the right person, high net worth person comes along, you're able to move that conversation along and know that you have help with Emeritus Advanced Solutions. So the influencer exchange is 3 times a year. So one is actually coming up in September. And again, that one will be, I'm guessing, will be hotly attended because of the new legislation. So just keep that in mind. With the SAGE, I know we just submitted one for August. I think it's probably the July one, but we just submitted. We just looked at that, so that'll be coming out for legislative updates. Again, that one will be looked at quite. That'll be quite interesting to look at and how it's going to affect clients. And then Prosperity Road, 4 times a year: February, May, August, and November. Again, coming out soon. So those are the things that we do from a back office standpoint to help us out, but also to keep you elevated in the client's mind as you have cutting edge ideas to be able to run by a client to see if it's something that makes sense with that with that business owner or high net worth client. All right. This is more Baker Hostetler, concepts, ideas. Now let's get to our solutions, and this is where I want to end up, so you understand. If you haven't been out there or haven't seen these are things that you want to be able to know, kind of what's there. All right, so we have something that we call our levels of solutions, right? And our first level is something that we call fundamental solutions. And fundamental means these are the building blocks for any case that's going to end up being an advanced solutions case. In other words, like you see here, be out, the business owner unrestricted transfer. So if you want to have a base conversation with the business owner about, how do you want your business to continue when you're no longer a part of it, then you should understand those base conversations. And that base conversation is understanding the difference between a cross-purchase agreement and an entity purchase agreement. That's the basis of fundamental solutions. Here you're going to have, fundamental solutions are one page. They're big pictures, right? They're one page, big pictures. And the idea, I buried the lead. They are client approved. You can take a fundamental solution and put it in front of a client and have that discussion about being, that business owner being out of their business, one way or the other. One's a cross purchase agreement, one's an entity purchase agreement, and you can have that conversation. I think everyone here would benefit. Maybe you know it already, but if you don't, the retirement savings triangle. Like, who on this call has had the conversation about the difference between taxable, tax deferred, and tax free, accounts, and where life insurance falls into that discussion, right? You probably have that conversation, 50 times a day, right? And so the retirement savings triangle is again client approved, and that's put in place for you to have a visual, to have a leave behind, to have something to be able to discuss those three key levels of accounts and why they're important. That's the retirement savings triangles, and that's all of our fundamental solutions are in that vein. They are the beginning conversations when we start talking about advanced solutions idea. That's why we call them fundamental. Okay. The next level is something we call strategic solutions. Now, strategic solutions are a little more involved. They usually combine something, but they're not higher level concepts. But they combine. I should say they combine higher level concepts in relation to fundamental solutions, but it's usually a combination. And usually we have, like, for instance, the retirement buy sell. We have we usually have some type of mini white paper to explain the concepts. And then we have a client piece that's kind of in that same vein as a fundamental solution. One page, client approved, can leave behind. And those things are available with our strategic solution. So that's an intermediate level. There's usually just a couple of pieces there when it's a strategic solution. Now, the one that we sort of bring home, and like I talked about Alonzo, is something called complete solutions. And the reason why we call it a complete solution is because it is more difficult. And the idea behind a complete solution is that we have everything that you need to learn the concept, to teach the concept, to be able to have the information about the concept for the other trusted advisor that's inevitably going to be involved. So we don't shy away from the accountant or attorney. We anticipate that is a thing that happens. And it's going to happen when we start talking, people with higher net worths. They're going to run it by their accountant or their attorney. They're going to do that. So we build in our complete solutions things specifically for those accountants and attorneys. Like our white paper is written specifically for accountants and attorneys. Like when they say, I'm going to run it by my accountant, say, great, make sure they get this piece. Right? And that's the white paper and our complete solutions. We also provide a process and checklist for I'm new to this, what do I get done first? We have a process and checklist. If there's specimen documents needed, we provide the specimen documents. Now, those documents need to be written by local counsel, but I'll just let you on a secret from a guy with a law degree. Not every attorney, not every accountant understands every concept out there, right? So we want to take the reflexive no off the table. We want to take the no because I don't know the concept off the table. So we want to give them an opportunity to become more educated. and have a piece so they can go get educated on their own and not be embarrassed. And let's talk about how this can benefit our clients. And oh, by the way, this is what you do. This is how you work. These are the types of concepts that you bring to the table. I think I need you to talk to this business client or that business client, or I have this client that would benefit from talking to you. That's what we're trying to do in development of COIs and ultimately making them allies for for you. So with our complete solutions, we also take into consideration post-case administration support. If there's administration needed, we try to build that in so that if something happens that's needed ongoing, we've built that into the equation. That's why we call it complete solutions. You may say, man, that's a lot. Yeah, complete solutions are hard. It's why we only have 5. So we only have 5 complete solutions. Well, we only have 4. We'll have a 5th one at the end of the month. And there's a reason why, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be considered, and that's available for you to get up to speed, to teach, to educate the client, to provide for the COI, to have post-case administration, and to understand what needs to be done next. All those things we've tried to think of to make this to make it a complete solution, and that's what we've done. So our complete solutions, I'll just give you just a quick rundown. Dual executive reward. This is built. This is a complete solution that sort of takes advantage of what's typically done in non-qualified deferred comp. So typically, non-qualified deferred comp is done one of 2 ways. Either there's usually a bonus agreement, or we do traditional non-qualified deferred comp. That's something that's promised in the future. What we did with dual executive reward is we kind of combine a bonus agreement, a future promise, with split dollar. Now you may go, Troy, I don't know anything about split dollar. I don't want to know. That's fine, because that's why, by it being a complete solution, we have the split dollar documents. We have the bonus agreement documents. We have the ability to teach and help you learn. We help you present it because we have we do the presentation for you. We walk through it with you, and we help get you up to speed. So if you don't know it, that's what we're here for. But it's to understand that when it comes to non-qualified deferred comp, one of the things that we can help you solve is, what if we could take the best of one world, executive bonus, and the best of the other world, non-qualified deferred comp, and just put it right through the uprights. Take the best of both worlds and give you a concept that allows you to sound different than everyone else walking into their office after you're gone. Again, it's about elevating you in the mind of the client. That's what dual executive reward does. Our next one is buy-sell LLC. It's, if you have if you have someone looking at a buy-sell strategy, using an LLC as the vehicle to provide to own the life insurance has significant tax benefits. And if you want to learn it and understand it and have the information to be able to move to the other trusted advisors, maybe even the attorney who's going to write up the buy-sell, we have those things in place with the buy-sell LLC. The next complete solution is something we call SPORT, Supplemental Platinum Recovery Captive. And that's actually loan-based split dollar. Again, don't let it freak you out, because we have that material for you to learn, for your clients to learn, for the client's accountant or attorney to learn. But using split dollar, it's that next level of executive benefit that instead of paying income to the employee, to the key employee, you're going to loan them dollars. And there's a process that goes into loaning them dollars and then ultimately having that loan paid back. So if you have a business owner that man, I want to provide a benefit, but it sure be nice to be able to get all my money back at some point, then you may want to look at SPORT. You have that built in as a complete solution. And then finally, at least for these slides, is Prosperity Plus. if you find yourself with a business owner, how many business owners do you run into that says, man, taxes are killing me. I would love to, get a big tax deduction, right? And if that's the case, one of the things that you can take a look at for the right business is something called 412(b)(3). It's a defined benefit pension plan. The old pension plans that that our parents used to get. I don't know how old everyone is, but I know my parents and maybe my grandparents used to get. You could do that. It's a qualified plan that uses life insurance products, that uses annuities and whole life insurance. Most of the time, use annuities and whole life insurance to fund a pension plan. Now, the beauty of Prosperity Plus is twofold. One, a large tax deduction, and I'm talking, when I say large, minimum 5, 6-figure, high 6-figure. I just say low to mid 6-figure tax deductions, depending on the size of the business and if it makes sense. The other thing is the business owner can avoid the problem of other qualified plans, which is like I contribute. If I'm a business owner, I contribute just as much as one of my employees. Well, the problem is I make more than my employees, and for me to retire, I need to be able to contribute more, right? With Prosperity Plus, that business owner can contribute, and oftentimes out of that high 5, 6-figure premium that 6-figure contribution that's going to the qualified plan, 90 to 95% of that is going to fund the business owner's benefit. Again, that's what the right company, you can run into situations like that. So, and then we talked a little bit about our fifth complete solution with Alonzo's case, where if you have an S corporation owner, the problem that S corporation owners face is that it's all passed through taxation. So doing any type of non-qualified plan really doesn't benefit the S corporation owner, because they're on the same tax level as the business. They're the business and the business is them. And so with the S corporation security plan, we want to be able to educate S corporation owners in particular. We want to be able to educate them on how to take money out of their S corporation, because W-2 income, we know we have to pay Social Security tax, we have to pay FICA and Medicare, right? But when it's a dividend, right? Dividend, K1 distribution out of an S corp does not pay, does not pay payroll taxes, right? So the business owner, there's an arbitrage, a space of about 7.65% that the S corporation owner, if taken out of K1 distributions, they have additional dollars to be able to contribute to life insurance. So Alonzo, it's in my opinion that's the conversation that needs to be had with the accountant. In terms of how do we maximize his distributions and his W-2 income, so that so that we can provide the life insurance needed, and then we can do the illustration and show you how we do that. So I'm over. I apologize. I'm right. I'm at the end. That's let's go back. That's our contact. That was on our team flyer. That's our team email address. So again, I know I'm over 2 minutes, so please, if you got questions, certainly just email me or give me a call, or if you want to handle them now, we can.
I just want to personally say thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I got about 3 pages worth of nuggets there. And I really didn't know about this Prosperity Plus. That's the perfect, and Alonzo, and on top of that, Alonzo, they have the resources. Right. So you can actually go onto the producer workbench and print that piece showing the section 413, what is it, 412E and 3. And he has a handy little flyer that you can send here, send this to the accountant. And the language look simple enough as well on there, Troy. It doesn't look confusing, look very simple for a client to really to understand it. So where did you go to find those resources? You could just tell me real quick. And my second question is, if we need like an illustration run that specifically has like Prosperity Plus, how do we do that? Because I don't see where to do it on the on our life insurance software. I mean, they have the bonus executive, but they don't have these other concepts that we spoke about. So we wanted to do like a specific concept towards here's the one of the complete salute that says it on there, like the dual executive. I said like this says it on the illustration. How can we actually do that to really so we can sell the concept? Is there a way to do it?
Right. Yes, there is. So you first of all, you would contact a member of Advanced Solutions, and then typically what we do is we consult on it. Hey, I got a case, Troy, that there's a couple of key employees that the business owner wants to do 25,000, 50,000. What does that look like? And hey, they want retirement at the age 65, or they want a 10-year period. So we had those discussions, and then Case Design will do the illustration for you. They'll do the illustration. You'll have the pieces. Oftentimes, Jacob will send the pieces out with the illustration, and it's simple. With Prosperity Plus, that's a TPA sale. So that sale is like we get our much like Marsh and Stevens, we get that third party involved because the ongoing administration it costs them dollars, right? And typically there's a TPA involved. So we actually work with a TPA, and we're actually growing our TPA resources. But we work with a TPA out in Utah called National Pension Partners. So Prosperity Plus is actually, if you can sell the concept and engage the business owners, that they want to do it, then it's a matter of getting a census. Remember Wendell Stallings from our teamer from Charlotte? He runs point on Prosperity Plus cases. So if you think I got a Prosperity Plus case, get in contact with Wendell, and then he makes that connection with you to the TPA. And then what's going to end up happening is the TPA and their accountants are going to end up hashing it out, right? Because the client it's going to be up to the client's accountant to go, yeah, you can do that, or yes, that makes sense, right? So you want that TPA and that accountant hashing it out as soon as possible, because they speak each other's language, and frankly, I don't want to speak that language. They speak each other's language, and there you go. And that's how you end up. That's how Prosperity Plus cases end up happening. For the other complete solutions, you work with a member of Advanced Solutions, and if it ends up being a complete solution, we will run the illustration and get it to you.
Awesome. Well, that was great. So, anybody? I guess we have time. One more question, and then we'll disconnect. All right.
I'll say this, Charles. Next time you have me back, I'll just do. We can just talk about a specific concept. Like if you want to talk like dual executive reward or whatever, one of the complete solutions. Next time you have me back, we can dive right in. I just thought it would be good for everyone to understand that there's a lot of resources. Like, man, how do I even begin to start? Okay. There's a lot of resources. Dig in online. But the best way is hey, Troy, I think I got a case I think I got a case. Help me understand.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Troy. All right. With that said, I really appreciate you. That was a very, very good stuff. And it's nice to know we can call you and you have all these resources there to really help us. All right. So with that said, everyone, all right, take care, and everyone have a good day.